From game capture to screen capture, and here we go. All right, DevBlog number 23. Starting off with a piece from Philippe. He says, I spent most of this month developing the skin system. We tested a wide variety of different designs to find which one was best, and then we started to add the swatches that each animal can access. For each customizable part of the body, swatches for each customizable part of the body. We even tried an eye drop color picker system, but in the end we decided it is best to have a chosen list of swatches. So swatches must be the colors that you can choose from, and they can expand that over time. Below is an updated image of the main panel. Keep in mind it is a work in progress, and more colors, options, or features can be added as we move forward in development. So yeah, it looks very much like the legacy version of the skin customization here, just a little bit more tidy with a better look at the actual animal itself. He goes on to say here some QOL were added, such as being able to pause animations. Terra has an option to toggle standing or gliding animations. You can see growth previews in real time, rotate in any direction, and a very useful button to randomize your skin. In addition to the random button, players are also able to lock each section, such as male display, markings, etc. That should not be modified by the random button. Not only that, players can also lock the individual colors of each section. Okay, so yeah, if you just wanted to make sure you got a specific few colors in there. Just checking up on the chat, making sure I'm not expecting any stegos soon. Oh, nice. Look at that red on that Utah raptor. That's gorgeous. I like it. All right, so continues here. By right mouse button clicking at a color will paint it in black, locking it from the random generator. This is kind of a little over my head here, so I'm just kind of reading these words without understanding a lot of it. Allowing to have more control of what colors the random generator should use. Okay, I think I'm starting to pick this up. Then using the brightness and saturation sliders, players can have more control of how the dino will look. Okay, cool. So just instead of being stuck with the specific shades and brightnesses of a select number of colors, we can actually modify those colors. Another nice feature added is the ability to share skins with anyone. By clicking the export button, a code will be generated for the current skin of that animal. That's nice. Hell yeah. Copy it by clicking the code, send it to your friends or anybody. They can just click the import button, paste the code, and boom, save it, and it is yours. Cool. I remember when me and Beer War well, not just me, it was mostly Beer War's work. But when we'd go to help him with his videos, we'd all have to have a certain skin, and everyone would be like, all right, so we got Diablo 3 and Rex 5 and Serato 2. It'll be so much easier. Just here's the skin code, and then you can paste it in there, and everyone will be able to have a matching skin. Players can also choose different patterns for that animal, and we can add and expand that as we please in the future. Besides the skin system, as always, I've been working on bug fixes and improvements to several mechanics of the game. Thanks, and see you next time. Appreciate you, Philippe. Good work there, my friend. All right, and then DM, who's the programmer, says, I continued my work on nesting this month. First of all, there is a new temperature system. No way! Yeah, check this out. So you're gonna actually have to sit and incubate the eggs, which plays a role in the incubation of the eggs. Temperature decreases gradually on its own, and you have different ways to increase it. In the case of mound nests, where the eggs are exposed, you have to sit on the eggs to warm them up. Debris nests have good insulation and don't require much maintenance, but if the temperature becomes too low, you will have to add more debris to the nest to warm the eggs back up. Okay, fascinating. The temperature bar is broken up into 4 sections. In the ideal range, the green section, the eggs will incubate properly, while in the neutral state or neutral range, white, Nothing happens to them. If they are too cold in the blue or too hot in the red, you will start losing incubation progress. Once your progress goes back to 0, your eggs will rot. We left the door open to the temperature possibility being affected by the biome, weather, and time of day. But that's something for the future. The next bigger task I tackle was hatching from eggs. For this, I have to enable hatchlings first. Fortunately, they were already set up for the most part. There's just a few smaller changes and bugs left to fix for them. Then I had to adjust our spawn system to support spawning into a nest, and then finally I added the actual hatching mechanic. We want to get the player into the game quickly, so after shaking around in the egg a few times, you will see your dinosaur pop out and can begin your adventure. Nice. Oh. What's this? Hypno, QA lead, says, just a short post from me this time. Besides, the QA team's constant bug testing on both the skin system and nesting, we've been looking at the new server queuing system that Amarok has been developing more recently. This system, as you would expect, allows players to queue up for servers that are at maximum capacity. Excitingly, it also allows for server administrators to skip the queue and even join a server if it's full, avoiding any instance where they could not enter the server to attend their moderation duties. See the video below for how the queuing system looks in action. So let's check it out. Position in queue 3 out of 4. Out of 5. That it? Sometime later. All right, then you're in position 1. Boom. You pop right in. I like the Minmi PNG there. Hey, what are you covering up there with the Bipiosaurus? Well, that was silly. Hold on, let's go back. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, we know Bipiosaurus is gonna be our very first omnivore, if I'm not mistaken. And omnivores will go right here, just below carnivores, and that's where you'll be able to select the Bipiosaurus. that was a fun little animated picture there. But very cool. Appreciate that, Hypno. Much love. Tapwing, the 2D artist, so the concept artist, says, this month I had a few things going on, working on building concepts and getting another set of nature sketches started. But the thing I've been most excited to work on this month is testing the skin system. The initial phase we sent zeroing in on what the team wanted the skin system to even look like. Do we want swatches? Do we want sliders? How much range do we want to give players, and what customization additions could we make in the future? After some testing, we've got what we've got now is a mix of swatches and sliders to allow for more precise color tweaking. Once the UI was brought to a point where it felt good to use, it was on to the fun but somewhat tedious part, color selection. Not only is each dinosaur going to have different colors available to it, each pattern layer will also have its own color selection as well. So that was a few days spent just narrowing selections down per category from what I would say was the maximum color range we could potentially use across the roster. The goal with this idea was to allow as many color choices as we can while still holding players to a mostly natural variance between the same dinosaurs, which I appreciate. Hey Cookies, welcome to the stream. Are we still good? I'm just double checking with chat here. I'm still sitting in game. You guys can hear the Utah Raptors purring. Good to see you, Cookies. Yeah, welcome. We're going for a little bit longer yet here. I'm regrowing my Utah Raptor and going over the DevBlog, which just released. All right, so next, moving on to Wedge, the sound designer. I've been working on sounds for a new AI creature that will be appearing across the island in the near future. What's that? Pterodactylus? This small scavenging creature's significant function is to mob and annoy players, eat their food, and give away their position. For this reason, the main quality of the creature's vocals had to be irritating. To tackle this, I am creating an array of distinct and unusual vocalizations, each one unique for the associated action. When a player is mobbed by a group, they will hear a chorus of all the various sounds, resulting in a cacophony of annoyance. Passive sounds like its idle are low, ugly, glucking sounds. Never heard that word before. Glucking. When hopping around, they will produce a playful warble. Attacks will sound like an aggressive cackle if mocking the player, and its dying sound consists of a harsh, grating screech. Mixed with its signature gargle, among other sounds, it will also have a couple of calls, which I'm experimenting with to create something unique. Very interesting. So that's a new flyer. Doesn't sound like it'll be playable. It'll just be a, an environmental hazard. The Pterodactylus, as an AI creature, is intended to be very vocal in order to give away a player's location. However, thinking about this brought the current situation of idle vocals for our current roster of playables to my attention, and the impact they have on maintaining stealth while playing. Idle sounds have now been significantly reduced in volume when standing and resting, and totally removed from idle crouch animations, aiming to strike a balance between audio immersion and gameplay functionality. I've also created a suite of egg cracking sounds that will accompany the hatching mechanic with a variety of intensities depending on the size of the egg. I've compiled these into 2 different subsets: the initial cracking as the egg shakes and the hatchling stresses the outer structure of the shell, and then a more intense and hollow sounding crack that occurs the moment the hatchling quickly bursts out. Very in-depth, Wedge, and I appreciate your use of vocabulary. All right, now I think we're moving on to the final one here. This is Kissing. Oh, take a look, guys. That's the Pterodactylus. Right on. All right. So let's wrap this up. Kissing Kitten Producer. Another month down and a heap of progress made. The production cycle for Update 5 has mostly been filled with prototyping and tweaking of systems. We hit the ground running with this update, so we were able to run a fair amount of tests. We've trialed several different iterations of the skin system and nesting system, and some other additions that are to come at a later date. With the progress we've made on the update being substantial, we are finally comfortable showing you more of what we've been up to and what these systems are going to provide. We'll also be including a new and unexpected blast from the past Pterodactylus, who you're likely to love, to hate, or hate to love. This entry is going to be short and sweet. We've got all hands on deck to round out a few more finishing touches and tie up some loose ends, but we'll be dropping some clips for you soon that span Update 5 features and future creatures coming into the game. We know the skin and nesting systems have been long awaited, and we're excited to get it into your hands. All right, guys, let's check out the Pterodactylus teaser. So we got the ground scavenger, the compy, but now we got a flyer too. Damn. Oh, that poor Hipsy. Damn, looks good. Now you gotta keep in mind how small that model is. I like it. All right, very cool, super exciting. Really glad to have read that dev blog. A lot of good stuff, and I think a lot to look forward to. So appreciate it. All right, back to the game.